All righty, here we go. Welcome, Zoel. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. So here we are for another Tuesday night roundtable. Tonight we have a really exciting episode. Today we have Tom with us. He is a bounce house owner. He is phenomenal, and he is willing to share some of his great ideas with us to help us in our businesses about discounts, promos, and how they can make you money. As always, we're going to keep to the 60 minutes total. So by the end, we'll do a little bit of a summary of what we talk about tonight. Also, I will share a feedback survey so you can tell me, hey, these are some things I want to talk about in the future and how am I doing? I won't take it personally, I promise. So let me know what we're doing well here. And then, of course, as always, we want you to subscribe to the Event Hawk YouTube channel because there are so many great resources there as well. And then I think depending on how many people, we'll either do a breakout room if you want to have other conversations other than talking about discounts and promos, or you can stay here with us and chat about that specific topic. That's really up to you. And with that, our goal is to educate and just take some time to reflect on the things that we need to help our businesses grow and be successful. So we'll keep all of our goals, our focus in that direction. All right. Anything? I think that pretty much sums it up. All right, Tom, anything else you want to add for who you are that I'm sure I missed a lot.
Oh no, yeah, it's fine. My name's Tom. I'm a party rental business owner. I started my business when I was stationed in Mexico. I don't know where all of us are. I'm curious at some point to hear from the people that are in the room, like where you're at, how long you've been in business, and kind of what your thoughts are currently on doing discounts. But I have my own philosophy. I'm now 8 years in the business. We do six figures a year. I only have 12 inflatables, but using Event Hawk, using some of my personal philosophies, I do believe that some of my discounting philosophies are a strong reason as to why we get a lot of schools, churches, I've done business with every single college in town because I have a discount specifically related to schools, and that's for all schools. And so I'll kind of share some of that stuff throughout the meeting. But it's really a pleasure to be here. We're successful with this, and I'd look forward to try to help you guys be successful also. How many do we have with us, Amanda?
So right now we have one, two, three, we have got four, and yay, Adriano made it, and John is one of our favorites as well, and Fernando and Kayleen. So we have some of our regulars here, which is super exciting. And then I love the putting it out there on what people think about discounts and promos, because I know in my experience, like people are afraid of the word discount. That's really scary because when you price your items, you're, like this is the littlest I can charge for the most I can give, right? Like with labor and delivery and everything. And so I think that's kind of a scary word. If anybody wants to unmute here a second and share what you think about discounts and what you do.
I mean, I didn't hear the beginning part of your conversation, but is that true? You have 12 inflatables and you're making six figures. Is that true?
That's absolutely true.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
Um, I do volume discounts. So when I took over from my old boss, I started with 5% per thousand up to a maximum of 25 to 30%. So if you spend $1,000 with me, I give you 5%. You spend 2,000, 10, and so on and so on. And that's what I did. So you know, but I don't know. It's crazy to try to give discount. What kind of coupons do you do?
Sure. I mean, we can dive right into it. Does anybody else before we do that? Like, first of all, how long, John, have you been in business?
So 30 years last November, but I've been in the industry for 42 plus.
Okay, perfect. That's what I thought. I thought you had a lot of experience. So you're going to hear from kind of just my own personal philosophy. My philosophy kind of echoes Inflatable Office's philosophy. Does anybody else, before I go into my own spiel and my own stuff, want to share who they are and how long they've been in business and your own
I'm
personal.
sorry, I didn't hear how long have you been in business?
8 years.
All right. Definitely would love to hear more from you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I don't mind to share.
Sure.
My name is Kayleen. My husband and I own a party rental business. This will be our second full year. We do a lot of different types of discounts, not including bundles. We do bundle deals and stuff like that, but mostly like weekday discounts, special discounts with some of our sponsors and like partnerships that we got going on. New rental discounts. Like I'm always willing to throw a discount and figure out a way to make money versus leaving it on the table.
Okay. Cool. I think that sounds valid. And I think maybe interacting with somebody like John and getting some ideas on some things as you grow, where you start getting into these bigger ticket items, other ways that you could do different kinds of promotions and things like that. Well, thanks for being here. Would anybody else like to share their personal philosophy on discounting, how long you've been in business, where you're at?
My name is Adriano, owner of A&S Party Rentals. Just started about going about 7 months. So just getting my feet into the door. So right now we're just doing this.
Buy A&S Party Rentals?
Huh?
Did you buy A&S Party Rentals?
No, I started from the ground up.
Where are you located?
I'm in Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay, we have one here in Ohio, so that's why I was like, wait a minute. Okay,
Same name?
exact same name.
Wow.
Very well established.
Yes. Yeah, my LLC. I don't know if you're LLC.
I'm sorry?
LLC.
We are, yes, but I don't know. A&S Play Zone up here.
Okay.
There's an A&S Play Zone and an A&S Party Zone owned by the same man here in Ohio.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
no. Yeah. That's nice.
You'll become bigger than him, and maybe you'll be able to buy his domain and you'll have that URL.
There's two of us here in Ohio stealing his business. We partner up and he takes some of the South, I take some of the North. We both have the same vengeance for the personal goal.
There you go.
That's
Okay.
nice.
Anybody else around that wants to share your own philosophy on discounting, how long you've been in business? Okay, so I'll go into my own personal spiel. First of all, does anybody in here not have inflatable office? I'm curious about that because I know a lot of people that have Event Hawk do have inflatable office, but some people do not. I'm going to use a lot of inflatable office terms whenever I speak, but does anybody here not use IO?
I am just starting to onboard.
Okay, perfect. So this is going to be, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to really matter too much. It'll kind of show you how I personally use the coupon codes within IO. And once you really start to learn how to create filters and such, you can do very advanced and very interesting things with discounts within Inflatable Office. But the reason that I ask is because here, I'll go ahead and I think it would make sense to kind of share my screen. Let me go ahead and turn my screen on real quick. So Inflatable Office put out a video that really kind of opened my mind to what do big corporations do, like when it comes to discounting, right? Because my discounts that I have are minimal. You'll always hear whenever you're on Facebook, whenever people are bringing up the topic of discounts, everybody's like, oh, that's like a curse word. We don't do discounts. We're tightwads. We hold on to our money. We don't discount for nothing. Like, sort of. I mean, my personal discount is only 5%. You know, like if you go on my website and you want to book online, if I'm busy, I'm out running a delivery, somebody else can't take your call or whatever, I have a coupon code. It's the word online and the number 5. So online 5, I give that out to anybody. I say, hey, if you take the time to book online, 5%. So that's my Saturday discount. Like you want to book on a Saturday, you're getting 5%. That's it, right? However, So if you can see my screen, I'm going to clunky kind of just run through what you would do if you ever want to learn more about your inflatable office. But on YouTube, when you go to YouTube, you search for inflatable office, and you would search for, well, you'll see this big old green thing. And then you would search for videos. You'd sort them in order, okay? So they were on a kick last year where they were trying to do a video every single month to help their customers or whatever. And that was really cool. And they were supposed to do it for like over and over and over again, and they didn't. So the video that you want to watch, if you ever do want to sit down and watch it, which is kind of be like an hour and a half of what I'm going to tell you in like 5 minutes, which is how to boost your current sales up essentially 30%, which is what I do. I'm at 21.7% right now. I'd show you my numbers, but I think that feels a little bit invasive, but they're all right here. Like we're crushing it. We're doing pretty well. And like, I'm not lying. Like we only have 12 inflatables. I'll be very transparent with you. When I say 6 figures, we do over $200,000. And so this is the same philosophy that you would watch in this video on what JCPenney does, what Kohl's does, what sort of kind of what Walmart does, and all that stuff. And the idea is that, especially for you folks that are new, and I don't mean this in any way that's a slight or anything like that, but it's quite likely that what you're considering pricing your inflatables at, or what you're currently pricing your inflatables at right now, could have some wiggle room to be a little more expensive. Okay. So if you could consider all of your prices across the board, if this is within reason, right? If this is possible for you to do, that all of your prices across the board could be 10% more expensive than they are right now. Okay. So a $200 bounce house is now only a $220 bounce house, right? So now anytime anybody gets on your website and just books without you being there, or you talk to them, they don't have any, no hims or haws or whatever about your price or whatever, you're always getting an extra 10%. All right. If they're calling you while you're busy or whatever, you can throw a 5% discount on them, and you're still winning at a 5% over what you were ever going to charge before, because you've already increased all of your prices. Then my discounting philosophy. So first of all, everything that I do works off of Event Hawk, right? So I'm assuming if you're here that you're all Event Hawk customers. So the way I use my pop-up is different than the way other people use their pop-up. So here's my pop-up. Just so you know, we got a new graphics designer. He does beautiful pop-ups. So all of your pop-ups will get a facelift. If you want something new, just ask for it. So if you don't already have a new pop-up. But anyway, when somebody clicks on my pop-up, or when they click on my check for coupons, it's the same as yours, essentially. Like, I'm a little bit in the know on how to work with Elementor and how to kind of tweak my page. But yeah, so I added like nothing. I added my logo, and I added this little image that I found off of Google. And you can do that too. Like, I mean, to give you the super quick version of how that goes, you go websites, admin login for your inflatable office. And then when you're on your website, if you just click refresh, you'll get this thing that pops up across your thing. And so now you can edit with Elementor. And you'll probably have to get on YouTube and learn a little bit on how to add images to an Elementor page or whatever. But regardless, mine's a little fancier than yours, and I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that's why that's there. And so here, they're giving me only the same information that they're giving you. They're giving you their name, their email, and their phone number. All right. Now, where my website is a little bit different than yours is initially, what you get from Event Hawk is a pretty page with a coupon on it that's made by our professional designer. So it's fancy and whatnot, and it kind of shows, hey, we got a deal. You can get 5% off if you book online. And that's all I ever had in the very beginning of Event Hawk, was this coupon that said you get 5% off if you book online. Now, first of all, check this out. If they click on my my more info, first of all, every page that's on your website has to exist somewhere on your website. And so if you look, you can't really see my discounts page, but I made it exist under more info. But it's just because I have 100 columns of different things on more info. Which, if you want to screenshot this or something like that, these are all columns that were recommended to me by an SEO expert on things that you should have to boost up the credibility of your website on Google. That you should have each of these single categories that you see here, and that you should write content in them. Not a ton of content, just content. But anyway, so with that, you have to really, no customer would ever do this. You'd have to zoom down so far to ever know that my discounts are actually accessible on my homepage. But they never know that. They would never click on this. So now, granted, most people would probably just put it in the footer or whatever, but I have no reason to because I have all these categories. So nobody would ever know that my discounts are actually accessible. But even if they were, who cares? I've already typically had them click on my check for coupons or click on my pop-up, and now they're interacting with me. They have to talk to me, and they don't know that my prices are inflated or any of that kind of stuff. All they know is that we want to talk, right? So when they go to my discounts page, again, my discounts page is a little bit different than your discounts page. With the Elementor thing, I added a heading. This is an H1 heading. This is an H2 heading that has a little bit of SEO content in it. Bounce House Rentals in Pittsburgh, PA. I added a little image that I got, but here's my initial coupon. This is what people get when they go onto the initial Event Hawk screen, which is you get 5% off for taking the time to fill out a quote online. And that's like a one of those little tiny fireworks, like ping, like what was that? Like 5%? I felt I gave you all my information for that. Now here's the kicker, right? But if you are willing to rent more than one thing from me, well, I'll give you 10%. Like, oh, okay. And you can screenshot this if you want to. This is just information that go
Really,
ahead.
I'm so sorry, Tom, to interrupt. Would you mind like zooming in a little bit?
Oh
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, because I
just
went
a
all
little.
crazy. I went all crazy
No.
zooming out to show
Yeah.
everything else. So if you screenshot stuff, you'll have to do it like one section at a time. But my initial coupon is just my basic coupon. And this is what everybody has on whenever Event Hawk first sets up your deal. They ask you, what do you want to do for your coupon? And mine is like nothing. I'm not giving away anything just for the sake of giving stuff away. That's not how I do business. All right. But if you go to Inflatable Office and you go to your websites, you go to admin login, and then you refresh your coupon screen, you just hit refresh on it, and you take some YouTube lessons on how to add to your website page, you can add some stuff. And I might have time to teach you a little bit on, like, if I wanted to add, maybe I'll do that. I think I'll do it real quick. I'll add like a new coupon down here, or I'll modify my church and schools, because I did just recently change how I do this. But anyway, I don't just do a 5% discount. All the other discounts that I do are all intended to be for my advantage. If I give you more money off than 5%, then just like John was saying earlier, he's willing to potentially give more money. Now, honestly, I never give what the numbers he was saying, like 20. I do. No, that's not true. I'll give 20 for certain things, but I don't normally give 25, 30. But honestly, I think we have a lot to learn from John, because if you're making $4,000 or $5,000, why not? My wife just did the biggest ticket we ever had the other day, this year, which was for, I think, $6,000. And she's like, hey, I gave them, it was a church. She's like, I gave them a 20% discount. And I was like, dude, we have a 15% discount. She's like, yeah, but they were wanting to get a lot of stuff and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. We made $6,000. It was the most money we made all year. So sometimes, like, you give a little to get a little. So anyway, so I give a little here in order to get a more than one rental. So I have a multiple unit discount. If you rent more than one thing, sure, I'll double my hey, I'm busy discount to 10%. I do a multiple day. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What?
Was somebody saying something? Oh, okay, never mind. I do a multiple day discount, which this is, it's just information, if I'm being honest with you, because this is built into my pricing in Inflatable Office, to where if you rent longer, like if you rent for 2 days, if you book one day and then you go into the next day, it automatically gives you a price that's 50% cheaper on your second day. But I'm just making a big deal about that in my discount screen, so I look like I'm a wheeler and a dealer. I was in the Air Force. I was in the Air Force for 7 years. I always appreciated it when people gave me discounts. And here's the thing, people are always like, what did they do, like this or that or whatever. I don't do it for valor, and I don't do it because I love that I was in the military or this or that or whatever. I mean, I do because, I mean, why not? I mean, geez, I could have got shot and killed or whatever, and so could they. But they have friends, dude. Like, the military is tight. It is an organization. If you give a 10% discount to one dude and you do a really good job, they're going to tell other people. And I'm not telling you to do it for selfish reasons. I'm just telling you that, like, those people that are saying, like, what's the big deal? What did they ever do? What a stupid way to think, because that's just all to yourself, right? Because I'm at the same time willing to discount for churches, schools, and any other nonprofit organization. I don't care what you are. And again, if my bounce house was always $200 and it's now $220, and I go back down to $200 for a church, like, what, who cares? Also, I don't know if you guys know tax law or anything like this, but say a church calls you up and they says, can you donate your $300 bounce house and you can get a tax break on that? No, you can't. Like, that's not how it works. You cannot get, you can't donate a thing and get $300 worth of credit. That's not how tax law works. But so people, okay, so people stop right there. They tell all these customers, like, we can't do anything for you. That's not a real thing, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's only half the law. The other half of the law says that you can get a tax break for your operational expenses. So I'm going to give you a nugget of gold here, like, if you don't already know this, that you can discount your gas, you can discount what you're paying to your employees, and whatever you can assume is reasonable wear and tear for the expense of the trip. So if you threw a 10% discount, there's not an accountant in America that couldn't justify that that was your operational expenses. Okay, so that means your 10% discount to all of these people is tax deductible. And Inflatable Office, like, if we go into my promotions screen, keeps track of my discounts. But you have to be smart with how you name your stuff, right? So my coupon codes, like here, this is behind the wizard's curtain, like in the Wizard of Oz. These are all my coupons, right? And so with this, like, they're named in a way that make me know what happened. So it's nonprofit 10, nonprofit 15. This is the one my wife threw at that lady the other day. She gave her nonprofit 20. And then if you're a school, it's school 10, it's school 15. And I don't know if you know this, but all public schools are nonprofit organizations. So your discount to a school is a nonprofit organization. So it is a donation to a nonprofit organization, right? So let me teach you a little bit about me. Okay, you're like, how do you do this? How do you have 12 inflatables and you make all this money? Tariq has a philosophy on pricing. Okay, Tariq's philosophy is that you price your top five, whoever are the top 5 competitors on Google, like, you call them up, or you have somebody else call them up, and you pick like three categories, like, hey, I'd like to get a bounce house. Hey, I'd like to get a combo. Hey, I'd like to get a water slide. And if you want to know something else, like whatever, and I don't know if I said obstacle course, like an obstacle course or some other thing that you want to know what they charge for, you do some spy work. And you call 5 people and you write it all down. You do all this data and all this research, and then you choose who you want to be in your industry, right? Do you want to be on par with the most expensive guy? And I'm just going to tell you straight up, like, I don't know why I'm willing to say this on the internet, but this is my philosophy. Like, I match myself with the most expensive guy. Okay, that's how I do it. He says if you don't want to do that, then you go 5, I think, percent cheaper is what he says, or 10%, 5% more. If you want to be the most expensive guy, then you go 5% more. And I don't know what the philosophy is there of, I think either you just have to have brass ones, or you have to have really awesome equipment, or you just really want to be expensive. But there's that. So I priced myself with the most expensive guy. Now, interestingly, in my area, the most expensive guy is the most expensive because he doesn't charge any delivery fees or anything like that, right? I do charge delivery fees. So when I discount, and this is my new coupon, right? And again, this is behind the curtain and all this stuff. My new discount is here. Is this free nonprofit delivery, which hasn't really been used much. I don't know why it says 0 though, because I have used it a few times. But free nonprofit delivery, because it's my operational expense. So I'm going to let some churches and nonprofits choose, like, if it's more money to save to do the entire delivery for free, then I'm not going to give you 10% off. How about I just throw at you free delivery? And now here's the genius. If I'm not trying to call myself a genius, it's just, this is what makes this, like, smart, is that if I'm charging $400 for this thing And so is my competitor charging $400 for this thing. And the church is calling both of us. And they're saying, well, look, we'd kind of go with your competitor because he's only charging $400. And I say, well, I'll just discount all of my delivery and now we're the same price. And they're like, oh, that's cool. But in Inflatable Office, it shows that I should have charged that money, right? So it shows that I have this tax deductible amount of whatever the delivery fee was, 150 bucks, right? So now I've basically used my accounting in Inflatable Office to turn into my accountant at the end of the year because this connects to QuickBooks. I don't know if you already have yours connected to QuickBooks, but I had a bookkeeper connect my Inflatable Office to my QuickBooks, and it pulls in every single discount that's connected to money into my QuickBooks. Like that's just how it works. And so with that, she asks me, she's like, what are these? And I'm like, oh, these are discounts that I did for nonprofits. She's like, what are all these nonprofit 10s, nonprofit 15s? So all that goes into my accounting at the end of the year, and it counts, right? So my discounts stay about 10% on average, like if you look at my stats through the years for each year. But my sales, my average sale ticket goes up. You know, it was $500 3 years ago. I'm here. I'm going to stop my screen share and I'm just going to read you guys numbers. Hang on one second. Is it off or am I still sharing? Stop.
You're still sharing. There we go. And then I know we have some questions here too, Tom. So I know John.
And I'll stop talking. This will be the end
No
of me.
worries.
All right. So let's see here. Go to the thing. So under the stats, it says that our discounts were, I passed it. 10% in 2022, 9.4% in 2023. So it went down. And right now it's at 11.4%, but that'll taper down as we go into the summer season because I have to offer less and less as far as discounts go throughout the season. But my average ticket was $511, then $687, and now it's at $698. So it's like, as you use the software, as you use Event Hawk, as you get better and better at responding to people quickly, you have these little discounts in your pocket that you can throw at folks. And if you've already raised your prices, you're not going to lose any money. Then, just to give you the last bit of how I recoup that, I don't only do discounts. I also have tips and I also have the damage waiver, right? So when I usually teach people in these sales presentations that I do with my tips and my damage waiver about how when I'm in the middle of a conversation, I ask them, they ask me if they get a discount, and they do. And then later I ask them if they want to do the 10% damage waiver. And some of the time they say yes. So now it goes right back up to my inflated price. And then I also ask them, hey, do you want to leave a tip of 10, 15, or 20% for the delivery crew? And if they say yes to that, now it goes up more. So if you have a delivery crew, that keeps them happy. And if you're the delivery crew, you get extra money. And now your discount is like, it's not even a discount anymore. You actually start to make money or you come back out even. But anyway, that's it. That's my whole philosophy on discounting. I hope that helps you guys. And I'm willing to yield some questions.
I just wanted to jump in and let people know that you can have a page for your discounts that does not have to appear on your menu. You just have to go into your menu and make that not like remove it from your menu. And so if you don't want to have a page that directly links to discount, it is possible in there to not have that page show on your menu. It will still be on your website, but it doesn't have to be on your menu. So you can still access it. So for somebody who doesn't want to be as transparent with a whole page of discounts that's extra stuff, it can not exist through the menu. Just it still exists on the website, but not on the menu. So just a little footnote there.
That's a good point.
And John, you had your hand raised. I don't know if you have a question or comment.
I was just curious, what version of QuickBooks you're using, and are you paying for it annually or monthly?
So I think it's QuickBooks Online. and I believe it's a monthly expense. It comes right out
Yep.
of the business
Yep.
account.
I
There's
I was curious.
yeah, there's a whole section in the Inflatable Office knowledge base that gives like step-by-step information on how to connect QuickBooks to IO. And I gave that website link to that knowledge base article section on QuickBooks to my bookkeeper and had her do all of it. I was like,
Okay.
hey, look, this is how you log into my IO. This is how you log into my QuickBooks. Can you please connect all of that? And she just did all of it.
Gotcha. I have QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks desktop because I've been using desktop for years
Right.
with writing my contracts. And then once IO is all set up in EventHawk, then I probably won't be using that anymore.
That's cool, man.
You
That's
know, they phased out desktop, that you're gonna have that end in like the next month or two. It's like already been yanked from some people. So just FYI, desktop is now completely defunct.
what do
Yeah,
you
it's so crazy. QuickBooks is just they just keep making things more and more difficult. So
Oh, as far as I'm concerned, QuickBooks is evil. They change the menus too often. It took me 45 minutes to find an old invoice the other day. And it, when I found it, it was completely obvious, but it took me a long time to find it. I was so angry. I was like ready to throw my computer through the wall.
I can imagine. What do you do for discounts, Stacie?
I have discounts when people off when I have discounts. Okay, so my top level discount, when people, I have a lot of a particular culture who walks into my store and they're always going to ask me for a discount, period. It's like the first words out of their mouth. What's the discount? So my response to them, which is a pretty standardized response, and for a lot of people who ask that question, is I will give you 5% off if you choose to pay with check or cash on any rentals and in-house items and services. It does not apply to delivery fees, you know, park fees, anything like that. I would say 2 out of 10 people then go forward with that, even though they want a discount. That's just on everyday rentals, like Joe Schmo walks in. It's kind of back to the I build in my credit card fees to my sales.
Right.
So they're saving me those credit card fees. So I'll in turn give them that discount. So that's kind of a mainline discount that I'll offer out if people basically bring it up. I don't have it advertised. I do not use my EventHawk lead capture for a coupon. I use it for enter to win a free party, and I give a gift certificate away every month for $125. I do have a free overnight coupon that I just regularly give people because they don't even ask for it. I'm just like, oh, we got a bounce free overnight. I don't want to go back. I don't want to deal with it, but it looks good. So I always like, hey, you end at 6. So I'll tell you what, I have a free overnight coupon. I'm just going to give that to you. Okay. Okay, great. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey,
does that
But
ever
they
does that
think,
ever backfire on you, Stacie? Where you offer them the overnight and they're like, no, I want this bounce out of here tonight because like I know some guys in my area, I don't do drop offs unless they take it from Thursday to Monday. But some guys don't want it because they're like, it's gonna kill my grass.
did you tell them grass grows back?
Listen, you know what? It's like
Here, it grows back.
the wife is all set. She's happy that the kids are gonna have the bounce for like 4 days, and the husband's like just in love with his grass, not his kids. And I mean, I've been doing this for years. I've never seen a bounce house destroy grass that wasn't already on its way out.
So in the drought years, I've seen it turn it, you know, slightly different color. But my answer to the grass thing is throw a little fertilizer down. It's actually really good for it.
Yeah. I just
So,
like I know like some people get very aggravated. They want it out of there now. You know?
well, so my thing is I have fees. I have basically I've switched it over everything that is a special handling fee. It's not a late night pickup fee. It's a special timing, special handling fee. Because if they 9 to 5 is our delivery window. If we get there after 5, it's on us. But if you schedule it for after 5, it's gonna become essentially a late night pickup. But I've switched that verbiage around this year to call it a special handling fee or a special timing fee, so that it's not as offensive, like that they're getting
Punish.
because they're punished because their party goes late at night. But I do everything to push them not to have us come pick up at like 7, 8, or 9. But we do have parks, and we do have, situations where it has to happen. And I'm upfront with them and say that's going to be a special handling fee. My guys, I have to pay them overtime or double overtime by that time. I mean, we work 16 hours on Saturday before Mother's Day. My entire crew worked 16 hours. We were fucking dogged. And there was just no way around it based on how the day went and how the festivals that we had were going to go. So there were 2 people that could not keep it overnight. So we had to go back to get them. The one person he scheduled for 5, we didn't get to him till 8, no penalty to him. But the other person scheduled for 8. So we had to go back and be there between like 8 and 8:30, and they had a $50 fee for us to come back at that juncture. And I did a special pickup, special timing. I just try and make it sound like it's less of a hit to them. So to answer your question, I do get some pushback, but very rarely. It's only in the circumstances where they don't feel it's safe where it's going to be, or it's a public area. Like I won't do it at an apartment complex. I won't do it at a park. I won't do it. I do it at schools. A lot of times I'll just pick up the next day at schools because they're pretty much safe. But if it's not those circumstances and I'm in a real white bread community, not high crime, usually it's not an issue and people are thrilled that they don't just, it's like, just keep the babysitter till the next morning. And I tell them, turn it on the next morning and play till we get there. Because I'm going to guarantee you we're not getting there at 9 a.m. unless that bounce has someplace else to go.
Yeah. Now, hey, you went real quickly past how you use your Event Hawk pop-up. I mean, now that's not a discount per se, but that is like a form. It's a free bounce house to somebody. That's a 100% discount. So can you do that?
It's my lead in. It's my lead capture. So I can put that free bounce house. And I often rename the form for events that we're at so I can track what kind of traction we get at events. But that is my, it's a big give. It's $125. It's a big give. So you're using it as an incentivizer to get people to sign up, whether or not, but I'm going to backtrack a little and say I'm not just a bounce person. So that coupon is good on anything in my company. It's good on a costume character visit. It's good on a balloon bouquet. It's good on a tent. If somebody wins that, it's good as long as it's an in-house item or service. So it's not going to work on a magician I sub out. It's not going to work on an order from Oriental Trading that I bring in for them, but it will work on anything that we own and operate. So they can take that and use it anytime they want on any party they want. And I never take them out of the drawing. I laughed. I said this on a webinar a couple weeks ago. I think, somebody's going to win one day and they're going to have entered when their kid was 5 and their kid's like graduated.
Right. Now, okay. So what happens?
Like, who are you?
Is this a 12-month-a-year coupon? Like, is somebody in November and December and January winning these coupons still?
Yeah. All year long. Well, we do Santas. We have a huge Santa business, and our November and December, I do 1/10 of our total, maybe more like, I don't know. My December is the same as my June. It's huge. I have 16 Santas that work for me.
Wow.
And then we do sets and decorating and photo booths and stuff. So last year, my goal was to really increase the minimum ticket amount for our clients that hire us, not just for like a private home visit, but for like an event. And we did achieve that and continued goal for it this year. I want to take that, $225 Santa visit and make it into a Santa visit with a chair and a backdrop and a photo book. Everybody should be, in my mind, every Santa visit should be $1,000. Doesn't work like that, but I'm trying.
Do church?
God bless that.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, John.
No, I'm just saying, God bless. Yes, $1,000 for every Santa visit. I totally want that.
That's awesome.
Oh, you got to go back to John. We'll talk offline on the Santa thing. I got a huge thing that'll just because I know you already do that. I'll give you a couple pointers on something that's a huge turnover for us, but it really adds almost $200 to every ticket. And I'll explain that. So yes,
you're
people
my
get
idol.
that. People get that 125 all year long. And I also use it to push at events. So I'll put a QR code on a poster, especially people who are like, who I've given a discount to. Part of it I usually say is, but you need to make me a sponsor at the event, and this needs to be adequately displayed at like registration. So like my Halloween happenings always gets like 150 off. They get 3 bounce houses. So we're going to one spot with 3 bounce houses. It's like the simplest gig for 3 hours. But they put it, I give them a lawn sign that says Happy Halloween. People pose by it, and it's got the QR code on the back of the lawn sign so people can, QR in and enter to win a free party. It's at their registration desk. It's on a poster stand by the bounces so that they can consistently display that and people can have an opportunity to win, a gift card. And it it works at varying capacities on different events and how well they promote you, like Special Olympics. I've done it with them. I've done it with like a lot of fall fests. It's just an extra. I look at it as every time somebody puts in for that, I get a $5, email address. And those people will all get a follow-up after the event that says, thanks for entering. You'll be in this drawing until your kid graduates high school. And then when they have their wedding, you'll win. Just teasing. It just says thanks for entering. And then I usually send a push out after and say, as a thank you for entering, here's $20 off your next order, or 20% or 10, whatever I feel like sending. I just queue them all up because they all came in through Event Hawk, send out an email through Inflatable Office, give them a special coupon code, and bam, they're good to go. So I'll turn around and use a coupon code through Inflatable Office that they will then be able to use on whatever order that they queue in. So that's another way that I reinforce that pop-up to drive traffic, because a lot of times I'll see people will be on the website and they'll just sign up for the free party, but then they'll come back and place an order a few days later. So it's a gentle lead in, and it's a way to gather information and stuff from potential clients. So
you said you'll
works
throw
nice.
whatever coupon you feel at like them. So what are some options that you have in your little repertoire that you can throw at them?
So a lot of times it depends on what I've had at the event is how I'm going to structure that coupon. Like if they've just come and played on my bounce houses, I'll say, hey, thanks for entering to win the party at Halloween Happenings. Here's $20 off an indoor inflatable rental for Christmas, or for indoor inflatable rental for the fall. Or if you're going to, if you're thinking towards Christmas, here's $10 off a Santa booking if you book by December 1st. So I kind of structure what I send out to them to be topical to what's coming up in the schedule, because they're only going to use that coupon like for a very short period of time. They're going to remember that they have it. They're not going to dig back into that in June and go, oh, I got a coupon from the bouncy house place. Let me go find that email.
That's a good point.
They're not going to 6 months later remember they got that. So I'm trying to capture pertinent business right that would happen within the next like 2 months for whatever that event was. So if it was like a big festival in the middle of June that they signed up at, that we had a face painter, a balloonist, a bouncy house, cotton candy, snow cone popcorn at, I'm just going to send them a generalized, here's 10% off your order if you order by such and such date. So I rotate through what I choose to send out for those signups. But I do say on certain instances, like if you enter to win the free party, you will also get a coupon. That is another big incentivizer for them, because they know that they are going to get a coupon in addition to a chance to win the gift card. That's not published as such on my website. It's only on QR codes and promotional materials I put out at events.
So
Because I'm trying to get new people.
So you would throw 10% at that person and let them, just a general person, just for taking the time to sign up for that giveaway at the party, they could potentially get 10% off.
Yeah, but it will have a minimum order attached to it of $100 or more, something like that. I usually throw in some minimums, and I always have the little caveat, some restrictions apply. I don't usually allow it over like $2,500, so some little ticky tack things that, go along with the coupon giving, because I want to make sure that somebody doesn't come in and, try and bank out more than they should. But my usual get there is it's an in-house item or service. So I never am shooting myself in the foot, because it's all items that I control. It's all everything that's my own. If I don't take it on delivery or labor or any of the stuff that is below the inflatable office rental line, like all that stuff that happens, you know, at the bottom, the damage waiver and stuff. Oh, here's a tip for other folks that may or may not have done this. You do choose your conscience on this. I automatically include my damage waiver on every single order, and I do have my click to opt out removed from my order sheet. They need to ask me if they want it removed. I remove about 4 a year.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's stats.
Well, so two questions. Question number one is, Stacie, with your discount, so you can control the discount as to what items are you telling it the items that it can do, or are you telling it the items that it can't do when you're setting it up?
So the discount, the verbiage I use is on any in-house service or rental. So that
I understand the verbiage, but is it automated in IO,
yeah, it's
or
automated. It's automated, and you can
how do you automate it?
things.
That's what I'm curious about, because
Okay, so
I'm
that's
just
a
starting to
lesson
go on.
that's a lesson that I can do with you, or I will happily do if people want to watch it. But when you create your coupon, you can put in exclusions. So for
Gotcha.
example, I have 16 Santas, but one Santa is a real prissy bitch. He's never going to get discounted.
And that's
Because-
why people are going to watch this one, because this is the X-rated version of our roundtable. This is 3 swear words in.
Am I having a day? I'm sorry.
He's having a day.
Didn't know Santas could be so hostile.
Just bleep me, Amanda. Just do me. But when you put up the
Christmas
replay.
Eve, when the line's not cut off, you have no idea. Just kidding.
Right.
But I mean, so I will put in exclusions. Like, for example, I generally will not discount my throne chairs unless they're coming with a backdrop or something else. They're just too sensitive. So a lot of times I have a list of traditional exclusions that I do. It's in the back of IO, and you can make it to where the coupon will not apply on those things. So you can delve a little deeper into your coupons when you're setting them up to make sure that you don't shoot yourself in the foot on something. And for me, I usually do it by categories, like variety entertainment is usually looped completely out of discounts because most of that is sub out work, you know. So to answer that, you can do that in coupons, and it's not hard to do. You just have to dig a little further to figure out how to do it.
That's
Awesome.
great.
And I'm so glad that like Stacie's here to give us like so much great information, because she's really awesome. And then also when it comes to the automations, John, you're just starting to scratch the surface of what inflatable office can do.
Scratch my head, did you say?
Yes,
Mhm.
that too. That too. But definitely really great information. So just a 10-minute warning, everybody. I know Michael is over there on his phone. I'm hoping it's getting more bookings over there. But definitely, if you do have a question that doesn't get answered today, since we're short on time, go ahead and put it in the chat and I will capture it. So that way I can get some answers maybe offline as well, if you need it. So, and John, I already have yours. How do I do that in inflatable office?
Just a real quick thing. I rent stuff out. I sub-rent stuff out sometimes from a bigger tent, table, and chair place, or from generator places. And I mean, even when no matter what I get, there's always an environmental charge. And as a smart business owner, I'm saying that environmental charge is BS. I want to see where the hell it's going through for and what it's going for. But I don't even,
If it's like
you don't argue.
if it's like
There's so little.
Sunbelt, it's built into their contracting. And you're
Yeah.
right, it is kind of BS. So if it's like a Sunbelt or a Hertz or something like that,
United
it appears
Rentals.
on every invoice.
Every invoice, $2, $3, and it's kind of like Richard Pryor in Superman movie, where they're like, well, where do all those little fractions go? He goes, well, they're out there, and no one's getting. And then he just figures out a program to get it all into a separate check, and it's like tens of thousands. So they make big money. A small sneaky charge is that nobody's getting. People are gonna feel stupid to go, can you please take that $2.02 off my bill? And no one does that. They're just like, you know what? Life's too short. I don't have the conversation. So they just let it go, and that's what I do. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you got me. Environmental charge. All right, great, thank you.
Yeah, I completely understand that fee and have looked at it myself and went, yeah. But I think for them, it's because as a rule, as part of their business, it's like when disposing of batteries, there's always that environmental fee when you go to get rid of your battery, or tires. It's just if they have that as part of their business model, it's just automatically built into their computer system. It's like the damage waivers for us.
Money, it's money. I'm gonna start charging
Like the damage waivers for us is
That's
money.
right.
So that's why you
I
remove that
definitely,
little checkbox.
I'm
But
definitely thinking about that.
people ask about the damage waiver, and I'm completely honest with them and tell them what it covers and what it does and what it doesn't do. And I'll even tell people, unless these kids are jumping around with like pocket knives in their pocket, it's going to be pretty hard to damage a jumper. They'll still take it.
Yeah. Amanda,
They'll
were there
still
any
take it.
questions?
Yeah, actually just for Stacie over here in the comments, but like I said, I'm gonna give you 2 links right now while we're finishing up and summarizing. And then if you have more questions about Tom's discount program, definitely put them in the chat. And then please stick around. Ziana's actually doing her webinar on websites specifically, and she's giving away a free custom website. So that is a pretty awesome thing. So what Kayleen said was, Stacie, do you mention the referral program in place of discounts?
Are you talking about my referral program that I have built into my company? I want to make sure I'm answering that correctly.
Yeah, so I was just wondering if you had mentioned it already. I was in and out, quotes coming through, sorry. But wasn't
I
it you
love quotes
that
coming through.
Yeah, I've got the teachers. I'm doing field day tomorrow, and so now all the teachers are looking for their kids' birthdays.
No, I didn't bring it up on this one.
Yeah, because I remember you were talking about the discounts, and so you have people asking all the time, so you insisted that referral type program thing, and I just thought that might be suitable for that conversation with Tom.
Yeah, so what she's referring to, Tom, is like my schools and nonprofits. When they ask me for a discount, I have a referral based program that I set up called Party Partners, and I let them go ahead and advertise to their masses to let them know that if they use me, they not only earn 10% for the school, they also can earn 10% off for themselves. I only let them use that 10% double dip 4 times a year.
Okay.
So they can choose 4 different events to fundraise for and put out, push out to the schools. I just got done with senior celebration. They earned $836 for
Wow.
pushing out the Party Partners program. That means a variety of families got 10% off on their ticket.
Right.
So 10% of 836, that means I made $8,000 because they pushed out a Party Partner program and they got back 836, and they took balloon decor. It was like the easiest thing to fill. Okay, you need some balloons? Perfect. Let's have a couple columns, a little backdrop. And they were ecstatic that they got balloon decor for their event that they hadn't planned on getting. And all the parents were happy that they got 10% off. So that's an example of how the Party Partner program works great for schools, organization, churches. These are people that have asked me for a discount right up front on their event. And I said, earn your discount. Here's how you do it.
And did you come up with that on your own?
Yes.
That's pretty good. That's pretty smart. Can you explain it again one more time? So what do you have to do to get the
Amanda, I think somewhere I have copied that to Event Hawk in case you want to post it as part of the summary for this. At least I know I sent it to Tariq at one point.
Yep, I have your flyer and everything. It's beautiful.
So the Party Partner program, what I do is prom comes to me, school comes to me, or church comes to me, and they're like, hey, can we save money on our event? Do you have a discount that you can offer us? And I usually counter that before I just give them 10, 15, 20% off. Schools used to be 20% off, but I'm like, why am I giving away 20% to schools for free? I would still love to give them the discount, but those 800 kids are my target market. So why don't they go ask those 800 kids if they need to have a bounce house this summer.
Okay.
So they can buy a gift card, they can book a party. It runs all year long. It doesn't stop, but 4 times a year they can double dip. So if they're planning a daddy-daughter dance and they want decor, they can push out to all the kids, hey, don't forget about our Party Partners program, buy a gift card, support the school dance, or, get a balloon bouquet for your daughter. They can get a special thing for me to push out. I usually make a flyer for them for those 4 times a year. So like right now, the big flyer was party and prom, but then several schools switched over to graduation parties. So they're hitting up their client base, schools, kids, whatever. They're hitting up their families in order to make them part of earning a discount for their event. They're going to have a party anyway. They're going to buy balloons anyway. They're going to book a bounce house anyway. So why should they not use a vendor that's going to give the school back 10% of that rental? They'll get an extra 10% those 4 times a year, but other than those 4 times a year, they're always still going to earn the school 10%. They'll go to Chipotle and they'll put all their time and effort in advertising Chipotle night, and they get 6%.
Okay.
And it just is cash, which is great. Or they can get 10% to use on their event with me, and it's going to go towards something they need for their event anyway. That 10% is not cash from me. That is on goods and services. So
Okay.
they can save it up all year long and blow it on the end of the school year thing. They can use it for one dance. They can apply those funds however they want. But if they've got $1,000 in funds, that means that I made $10,000 off of their kids.
And you're going to take $1,000 worth of stuff to that place, and you're not going to charge for it. Are you going to charge?
I'm only going to charge delivery and any fees that are related to that.
Okay, so you still make your operational expenses, but they have earned their school a big party that was going to happen regardless. And you
Right.
got 10 times
And
the-
they didn't have to spend $1,000, which they can now roll over to something else.
All right. That's a pretty good one. I think that might be the hidden nugget. If anybody stayed around till the end of this, that might be the big golden nugget of the whole how to get a discount in. Pretty
Well,
smart.
It's
definitely.
just
Yeah, I was gonna say, Stacie, she's talked about the Party Partners program before, and it has been a huge hit. So that's really inventive. And then, but Tom, thank you so much for coming in to share your take on promos and discounts. And I know you probably still have questions. I'm gonna get you Stacie's information, just like Kayleen. So if you're interested, you can text our phone number. And I will get you more info on that, 708-401-6465. And any questions that you have, you are more than welcome to put in the chat. But we have to switch gears here. We're going to get some wisdom, some insight from Ziana. I did put my Google form in the chat, so if you'd like to give me some feedback on tonight's roundtable, that is great. I'm going to go ahead and change gears here, but thank you so much for joining us tonight on the roundtable. The next one will be at 7 p.m. CST, same time, same place, next Tuesday. So let me go ahead and pause our live. Thank you. And